Hello, my friends. I hope everybody is well today. Jukebox Cherry in the house. Hi, hope you're doing well. Nancy's here. Nancy, you from Massachusetts? Hi, Chris. I've been to Massachusetts before. Um, for like 2.5 weeks, I stayed in Massachusetts. And what else? I got a psychic reading in New Hampshire while I was there. It was quite interesting. God, if only I could remember what she said, but you know, ADD and all. I can't. Um, I hope that everybody's doing well today. Go ahead and tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Um, yeah, the light is changing color in the back. I have not had a great day. I'm going to be honest. I haven't had a great day today. I have been my own tech support, which will just say, good job, Paisley. We're here and the computer's working. We're on the computer. So obviously I was good enough, but uh, I don't enjoy that. And it wasn't fun. And then there was some other random shit that happened today. And then I, here's the problem, okay? I'm just going to be honest. I moved some shit around because I thought it would look good. And I don't know why I thought it would look good because I can't see it in my brain. So as soon as I moved the furniture to this place where my brain was like, that'll be perfect. That'll be that chef's kiss. That's going to be just perfect. It wasn't. It wasn't perfect at all. It was, it was like bad. And then it was like the middle of the night. And so it wasn't appropriate to be moving heavy furniture around by myself. So then I had to like sleep in this like state of furniture very misplaced. And it really threw me off. Um, it's still not very good. I feel you'll think, wow, she's in the same spot she was yesterday. Oh no, this couch moved 3 times. But I am indeed basically in the same spot I was in yesterday. Anyways, I appreciate being here with you guys. Let me go back up and read when I was ignoring you about what you've had for dinner. You're doing your nails, Lexa. I like that. I'm getting my nails done soon too. Um, okay, okay. Uh, I can't. Hector's here. Nancy had hot spicy chicken just on its own, Nancy, or did you like put it in a bun? Did you put it on a plate? Tell us how you had it. Meatball soup, cellulite yoga pants. Okay, okay. Um, Mayor's here. Hi, Mayor. Vicky's here. Cellulite yoga pants. You gotta read and scan, Piz. Read and scan. Read and scan. You're about to make some chicken nuggies? That sounds good. Chris, like, did anybody else tell me? Just tell me again. I'm sorry. If I scan back up, it just fucks me up. Hi, Donna. Hi, Billy. Hope you're doing well too. Homemade pot roast. Uh, that sounds really yummy. Blue cheese dressing on it, Nancy. Oh, I understand. I see. Okay, I get it. I get it. Tim, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Make sure that you have gone ahead and turned or what do you what Donna's doing it. Make sure that you have gifting turned on because Tim, I was thinking of you. Yay! Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. I'm excited. We are going to be doing our members only on Saturday this week. Please keep that in mind. I believe I'll have to double check that. Um, thank you again. Yay, Tim, your name is green. That's exciting. Uh, anyways, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. Uh, Miss Carrie, hello from work on your day off. Please tell me you get OT. Is it like triple time? Come on. Gotta be, right? A little? I hope so. Brian and Kimmy, welcome. Nice to see you guys as well. Like I said, welcome if you've never been here before. Welcome back if you have. We have crossed the 700 subs threshold and we are going from there. Um, hopefully up, not down. No OT. Straight time is you only work 30 hours a week. Okay. Well, okay. I can sort of understand that, but that just actually sucks. Miss Carrie, I feel that. Triple time. Oh, my ex-husband gets paid triple time very often. Um, yeah, any stat holiday that he worked, he got paid triple time, and he was already getting paid like $35 an hour. It was literally like $100 an hour to work on Christmas. And he used to be like, "No, oh, I don't want to work. Oh, Christmas or this or that." I was like, "Are you fucking nuts?" Yeah, you're gonna. Anyways, unfortunately, YouTube Daddy doesn't pay triple time, even though I work every day of the week. Uh, Legit, I do. I wish I was lying. But double time and a half. Well, Mayor, this is your union, the Teamsters Union. That's who negotiated that for them. Um, anyways, remember also please remember, by the way, uh, that in Canada we get really decent holidays, and especially like through that union. I think he's up to 8 weeks holidays or something a year, maybe 10 paid. Oh, and please keep in mind that it's a 4 hour or 4 day work week as well. I told him, I'm like, you can't ever quit that job. Ever. It's just moving around milk. Moving around milk. Anyways, so we were in the middle of some civilian warrant applications. So civilian warrant applications, if you're wondering, are a type of hearing from the state of Georgia, and it is something in which a civilian can bring forward an application for an arrest warrant and criminal charges. That's pretty unusual. Most of the time, the police and the prosecutors are the ones that have to do that. And so that's what makes this a pretty unique process and something that I really enjoy watching. Also, it's petty as fuck. Because for the most part, the people that are here, they called the police and the police were like, no, this is not a crime. And yet they want, they want it. So, um, without further ado, I'll catch you up. We've watched quite a bit of these hearings. We were on for over 4 hours last night. But we have, Brian, give me, making me, but we have one more hearing to go. So where we ended last night is that the contentious hearing that we began to listen to with the Coots, where there was a child that testified, which also put me in a bit of a bad mood. Um, that case was able to settle. So the judge did not make a decision on that, not because she didn't want to, but because they were actually able to go in and mediate or negotiate a settlement. So where we're going to pick up here in this hearing is where we left off, which is them finalizing that agreement on the record with the judge. The judge has some parting words for them, and then we have one more case before we're done. We'll probably be on over, I don't know. I don't know. I am not good at guessing the time. Honestly, for every 30 minutes of court, there's 30 minutes of me talking if I'm not like trying to be quiet, but that's not even a good equation because I don't know. We watched one of the videos at the end of this, so there's not quite as long left as it thinks we have, but we'll be on till we're not. Okay? We'll be on till we're not. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, thank you. This is my Oh, I don't even know how to describe it. I'll just tell you all the truth. Sometimes my favorite clothes are ones that are not made for me. What did Donna say? And the Miss Carrie answered. Why can't I see Donna's name? Donna, I think you and Mom do, and I know that you. There's- Oh yeah, did you see Judge Bonnie? Yeah, is Judge Bonnie and Judge Bonnie's getting married. How exciting is that? I'm excited about that. And if anybody's like, oh my God, Donna gets to be a mod, yeah, fucking Donna gets to be a mod. Donna let me stay at her house for a long time, so yeah. Okay, let I just muted myself. Let's start watching, then we'll go forward from there. Grim, welcome. Welcome to the lawless, timeless, no rules world of KCC live streams. Well, we don't delete comments. Let's know that. We don't block the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, but we are respectful. Let's say that. If you know, you know. Hold on. I got excited. I got to put on my headphones and change the output of the audio because I was just like, I actually also unplugged the TV and couldn't figure out how to get that to work properly. So that was like another thing I worked on today. Just like all these little projects have been fucking everything up today, to be honest. Uh, oh, see, now this is a problem. Okay, okay. We talked about how, no, you couldn't hear them, but here's the problem, you guys. Um, is it doing this? Yeah. Okay, so the problem I had earlier today, the computer problem was that the internet wouldn't connect, like the Wi-Fi thing. Anyways, I figured out I know how to do that with the device manager. I made it work again after like praying and hitting it a little bit. But now there's no Bluetooth option, which is really fucking me up. So we're gonna have to watch it through there. I'll have to keep muted. We'll go back old school. This is what I used to do in my kitchen. There was no headphones. It was just me listening to it muted and then I had to mute to talk or else we would be echoey, echoey. Okay, oh yeah, so then I have to change this. Oh, guys, please give me some likes. Make me feel better. Really, this helps a lot. Uh, okay, let's go.
That I've been able to tell of her. Again, I'm not the family judge in this case, but I don't think that she would be in danger from her father. I could be wrong, but I don't get that sense. And I also get the sense that she loves both of you and she would be happier in a world where she gets to have access to the two of you. So if there's any way that that can happen, that doesn't put your safety at risk, because again, your safety is paramount and important too. I would just like for you guys to talk to see if there's anything that can be done. And again, like I said, what we typically will do is there can be agreements where someone agrees to stay away or someone agrees not to call, someone agrees not to have any communication whatsoever, someone agrees to go to a police station every time that they want to pick up a child, or even not even been able to pick the child up themselves, having to send a family member or a representative to come get the child for them so that there's never any type of communication. Getting the child a cell phone so that there's no contact with the main number, allowing there to be specific hours, like between the hours of 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., that a cell phone that only belongs to the child can be contacted. Again, there are a million.
She has her own cell phone, Your Honor.
Perfect. And so there workarounds, as long as there isn't a protective order that a different judge signed that says that they can't be. Otherwise, I can't alter some other judge's order. They would be the only one that could alter their order. That's why I said I would like for you to talk about whatever orders in place with the attorney. But if there's any type of resolution that possibly might involve her not having to testify again, and also you getting the protection that you need.
Ooh, Grim, you're reminded me, I haven't worked at a job that has holiday parties. Obviously, we haven't really had holiday parties since COVID, honestly. So, um, but that does remind me, we are having a New Year's party online. So if you hate New Year's normally, you never look forward to it, and you want to finally do something that you actually want to do, you can tell people you have a party to go to. You're invited. It's going to be a big thing. There's all these fun things going on, but it is here online with us. Yay. But there are a few things that you'll need, including grapes and a sense of humor. And yeah, it's gonna be a really fun time. So make sure if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and on the Discord, I will put the information, but I'll also uh, put the information here. How will you get a New Year's kiss? So, Courtney, this is what I'm explaining to you. The grapes are replacing the kiss, okay? The grapes are replacing the kiss. We are all going to eat 12 grapes as the clock strikes midnight. And we got to do it like quite quickly. So it might look stupid. I'm going to be the only one that looks stupid, I guess, doing it live, but uh bye, Alexa. Be back later. See you later. Um, and yeah, you don't have to worry about getting on the roads and being unsafe. You don't have to worry about uh, dressing up necessarily. I mean, we are going to do a portion of it where if you want to be in a video chat, you can video chat in and we can all sort of be in a Zoom call, but that won't be the entire party. But we've got lots of fun things planned. Also, we're going to be playing an online play at home along with me game called 2023 Smash or Pass Judicial Official Edition, where we are going to be going through some of the judicial officials and people we've seen over the last year in court, deciding would we rather smash, pass, or mask them. Uh, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's another reminder. If you have a judge or judicial official that you would like to see on that list, make sure that you give me a message about it. Anyways, without further ado, let's continue on. The judge is just reminding these people that they are needing to be putting their daughter first, right? Which last night I was railing on them because I don't think they did. But let's let her finish and keep going.
Again, I can't tell you what to do, and I'm not necessarily telling you that you should or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying I would like for you guys to talk at least one more time with all of that information in mind or whatnot.
Okay. And yes, Your Honor, there's a lot more to this case than
I
what
know
you're
that.
being made aware of.
There's no way, and this is the thing too, Ms. Coote.
And she loves her dad, and I've never done
that.
anything to discourage that.
And Ms. Coote, the only thing is that I always tell people, again, a court, it doesn't matter how many hours you're in court. It doesn't matter how many weeks you're in court before a family judge, right? Mm-hmm. They never will be able to get the full story, right? That's never going to happen. Also, just as true is that a child doesn't get to choose their parents, right? My experience has been, even with children that I've dealt with that were crack addicted, their mothers were on crack whenever they had them. Their mothers prostituted them. Their mothers put them on the corner. Those children always still wanted to have some type of contact with their birth moms, right? Like
Absolutely.
Maybe one out of every 50 might say, no, I don't want to have contact. But the others, no matter how depraved I thought the parent was, for some reason, that child still had a longing for that other parent, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, when I tell you, I'm not saying, I think I started off, and I wanted to start off that saying that I know that you put her interests first. I know that you're a good mother. I know that he tries to be a good father, right? I know this. But I also know that it's a heavy burden on any child to be in the position where they feel like they're going to be the causal factor in something occurring or not occurring. And so if there is anything that protects your safety and protects her safety and gets you whatever justice you feel like you need, whatever security you think that you need, if there's any scenario in which that can occur, just let me know. And I just want to make sure that y'all have time to talk about that while I take care of some of the other matters.
Okay.
Just based on what I was able to discuss.
Okay.
If y'all would just amuse me that way, just to talk one last time to see if there's
Absolutely. I can agree to that, Your Honor.
Okay, so I appreciate you immensely. Thank you so much. And again, like Ms. Coot, I know that you're a great mom.
Thank
And
you.
again, a child doesn't turn out that great without having great parents. So again, she didn't come out of a vacuum. So she couldn't be that gifted, that talented, that funny, that kind, that intuitive without having.
Ooh, actually, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Judge. Oftentimes, children become those things in spite of absolutely horrific parenting, not due to it. So while I get what you're trying to say here, I disagree. I don't think that that's all that true, to be fair. Um, I would absolutely hate it if somebody attributed all of my best qualities as a person to my mother who and her wonderful parenting. Are you fucking joking? I'm sorry, no. A lot of people become things in spite of as opposed to because of.
Good parent, right?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to put you guys back in a breakout room. Just press accept or join for all three of you to go into that breakout room. And then
Okay.
I will get back with you guys once you're done. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, so Attorney Morrison, I see that you have returned. I'm going to go ahead and take up your case. And give me 1 second to pull up the warrants on that matter.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is
Perfect.
the
And give me
case.
your client's name one more time.
Aisha Condry Smallwood.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call the case of Miss Rainey versus Miss Smallwood. And so what I'm going to do is, let's see, let me get back to that screen. I have a multiple different screens that I'm writing information on and going back and forth. And give me just 1 second. I need to close out of some of these applications. I think I have too many pulled up.
Imagine you've had a lot pulled up this evening. A lot going.
Unfortunately, yes. So let me close out some of these documents, and it might actually make my computer run a little bit faster as well.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Whose heartbeat is that? Whose heart is that? Doesn't that sound like a heartbeat? Awesome, Nancy. Awesome news, Nancy. Glad to hear it. I think it's Mickey Mouse on the petitioner's, Miss Rainey's. And then on the other one, it actually is not a Nike ad, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure it says ghost them, just do it on her shirt. And I don't know if that is a Nike slogan or like, oh yeah, just ghost people.
All right, so I'm back on y'all's case. I don't know that I went over witnesses with you guys. So counsel, since I have you talking right now, I'll just go ahead and ask, how many witnesses that you have other than just your client?
I have my client, and I'm not sure that I'm going to call my client, Your Honor, because of the nature of the case. But
perfect. So probably no other witnesses.
I don't have any, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay, so let me ask this, Mrs. Rainey, how many witnesses do you have besides yourself?
She's muted.
Okay, Ms. Rainey, if you can unmute yourself.
One.
Just one. Okay.
One.
Are they physically with you, or are they on the online?
They're online. They're not physically with me.
What is their name?
Kevin Dean.
Okay. Let's see. I see Mr. Dean. So Mr. Dean, if you don't mind getting your screen started and unmuting yourself if you're able to hear me. Okay. And if you don't mind raising your right hand, Mr. Dean, for me. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could just state your name for the record.
My name is Kevin Dean.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dean. So, Mr. Dean, I'm going to place you in a private waiting room. You're not going to be able to hear what goes on, and you're not allowed to listen or tune in to the YouTube to see what's going on. And we'll call you to come back into the main session once it's time. So it'll be about 20, maybe 30 minutes before we call. Okay, so Ms. Rainey, I'm going to go ahead and swear you in. I will get your testimony and then we will go, the attorney will ask you some questions after that. If you hear the word objection, that means stop talking. The attorney has a reason why he doesn't believe that what you're saying should be admissible, and then we'll go from there. So do you raise your right hand, Ms. Rainey? Do you swear and affirm that your testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Okay, and you can state your name for the record.
Tennille Rainey.
Okay, you can go ahead and begin with your testimony and what I will need to hear about specifically, because we are going to be just focused on the incident. So I don't need to hear about anything that happened other than what happened on the incident date in question. And so the incident date that I have, give me 1 second to pull that back up. I'm going to read the exact warrants to you. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I don't know what happened to my cases, but that's okay. I'm going to use a different computer and pull it up.
All right, you have a different computer.
Let's see. 1 more second. Okay.
That lady's wearing a Nike sports bra. It's been some
Apologize
work.
for the delay. Give me just 1 more moment to get back. My
Thank
inbox.
you, Nancy.
Okay, so what I'm pulling up is the warrant. It looks like it's alleged that on July 28th of 2023 at 4 p.m. That the crime of simple assault was committed. It's alleged that Mrs. Smallwood did commit an act making verbal threats, which placed Ms. Rainey in fear that she was going to kill her. Okay, and so that's
Dang, Judge Hector, I see that. Thank you. That's perfect. That is excellent. I will make sure they are all on the list.
all that I want to hear about is any verbal threats to kill Mrs. Rainey that occurred on July 28th around 4 p.m. So you can go ahead and begin with your testimony.
On Friday, July 28th, there was I was going to attend an orientation session with Kevin. Kevin informed Ms. Condry that I would be attending, and Ms. Condry was very upset that I would be attending. So I actually did not attend because she threatened to call the police. So I didn't want to cause any drama for Latrell, so I didn't go. Mr. Dean actually, once he left orientation, he came back to my house. And he was sitting here in the kitchen and I was cooking, and Miss Condry called him on the phone. So he answered the phone on speaker. That conversation went straight into me not being around Latrell and her distaste and dislike for me. And the threat that she made then and there was, I got 17 for this head. I don't want to curse. Of course.
What? I'm having a hard time understanding what curse word that would be, what that threat would imply. Maybe this is just my Canadianism coming out, but I am perplexed. I don't know. Uh, what did she say? I got 17? Like dollars?
And the threat that she made then and there was, I got 17 for this head. I don't want to curse. Of course, Mr. Dean was like, me and him both looked at each other and was like, wow, she just threatened me again, because she had threatened prior to, that was the second threat she had made. The next day, we got my phone was, no, that was the same day, I'm sorry. Later on that day, I got a text, my phone was ringing, and Mr. Dean let me know my phone was ringing. So I went upstairs, and it was Miss Condry calling me. And then she had sent a text saying, hey, give me a call. We got to fix this before this gets too bad. Something, I'm paraphrasing, something around to there. I said, okay, we call you from Kevin's phone. So she called Kevin's phone. The conversation started off and it just went completely left. And she again made another threat. I can't quote her verbatim because I don't want to come off as lying because I said it wrong. But she also made another threat at that moment. At that time, that's when I was like, this is serious, because the previous threat that she made was on November 6th, 2022, where she told Mr. Dean that if I was around her son.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. This is not part of what we're here to today. And what we've heard, from the little bit I've been able to read in the court's record, that the threat was supposedly made on July the 28th. And now we're hearing all the way back to November the previous year, and we're also hearing the next day. So
it's relevant.
The attorney has to be put on notice of any type of incidents that occurred on other dates. So unless, the only way you will be able to talk about those incidents is if we had a hearing for those incidents, and you would have to give the attorney notice of that. So are you asking to pursue charges for anything that happened the day after this alleged incident and back in November, or would you like to just go forward with what happened on the date in question?
We can go forward.
Okay, so then that means I won't be able to hear about anything that happened on any other dates that the attorney would not have notice of.
Okay, from November, no problem.
Okay, so you can continue to tell me about what happened on the actual day.
Okay, so in the meantime, shortly after, that was July 28th, 29th, Miss Condry, I got notification from someone that Miss Condry had went and posted on Facebook, made a Facebook post, and this Facebook post says something about her stalker. Well, I immediately found out that she had went to Cherokee County and filed a stalking warrant against me that was denied. However, so the Facebook post is very shocking, I'll just say.
Objection, relevancy.
So did she post anything on Facebook about the threat that she made to you on the date in question?
It was the post was made on around August 16th. It was actually posted to Facebook. Did it reference any threats that she had previously made to you? Yes, it referenced the threat about me stalking her, about stalking. She did not mention my name, but that's a threat. That's not a threat, but did she mention what you alleged that she said on the 26th? I believe that was the date. Yes. She referenced that in the Facebook post? She did. She said, you're better off drinking bleach than to mess with me and my kid. And this is all about the kid. On the other date. I'm sorry, repeat that. Okay, so I'm not going to hear about that because it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with what happened on the previous date. She did not admit that she made a statement or say that y'all had gotten into a fight on the July date, I'm assuming. On July 28th is the day she stated, I got 17 for your head, 17 bullets for your head. And now you're at the gun range. Bullets, or did she say, I have 17 for your head? Can I say exactly what she said? Because I hate to curse. Say exactly what she said. She said, I got 17 bullets for that bitch's head. That's what she said. Okay, so that's what she said on the date in question. Exactly.
Okay. And she said that directly to you or to your Mr. What is Kevin's relationship to you?
My fiance.
Your fiance. Okay. Did she say that to him or did she say that to you?
She said she was on.
Doesn't that seem like an excessive amount of the things you put in pew-pews, the bullets? Also, why wouldn't she say bullets? That's not a swear word. So weird. And yeah, is it like that she knows she's a bad shot, so she has to prep with 17, but she's gonna hit once or twice or what? Like, it's such an odd, and she seems to think like it's just, this is why I'm asking, like, is this normal? Is this a normal thing to hear, or are you guys just as perplexed as I am?
The phone with him and I was there listening. It was on speaker. We were in the same room.
Okay, so she was talking to him on his cell phone and he had put it on speakerphone and she was talking to him still, but said she had 17 bullets for your head.
Right. And that conversation was about me meeting the son. She does not want me to meet him. And if I come in contact with him, she got 17 for my head. That's what she said.
And did you say anything to let her know that you were listening at that time?
No, I just stood there in shock.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that you want to tell me about what she said on that date?
No.
Okay.
The next day, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Did she, so the only thing, because again, the only thing that we have a notice of, you can file for another warrant for a different date if you feel as if there's probable cause for warrants for other threats that were made. But this only one that I'm concerned with today is the one that the attorney would have been put notice on for. So it's just what happened on that date. So did she say anything else in the day where she said, I got 17 for your head?
In that later that day, there was another conversation when she reached out to say, hey, let's, do something. Let's talk before this gets worse. In that conversation that didn't go well at all as well, she said something to the effect of, you really want me to fuck you up, bitch. I can't get it verbatim. That's what she said.
Okay.
So the next day is when she went to Cherokee County to file a stalking warrant. And then she posted on Facebook about a stalker. And I have that ready for you to view.
I haven't seen it.
So again, I'm trying to understand what the relevance of the stalking, her Facebook post about stalking has to do with what happened on the previous date.
She claims that I'm stalking her son because she doesn't want me to meet him. This is an issue between Kevin and her. So she has stopped Kevin from seeing his son, which she has every legal right to do. Excuse me, she has every legal right to do. However, morally, she's wrong. So she doesn't want me to meet Kevin. Doesn't want me to meet the son. So she's saying me, I'm sorry.
1 second. It doesn't have anything to do with what was said on the 17th or on the, I'm sorry, I keep giving the wrong date, but it has nothing to do with the threat that she made to put bullets in your head or any, she didn't.
It's all relative. It's all coming from her demand.
No, I know where it's coming from, but what I'm saying to you is she did not make any mention of the threats that she made to you or any admissions about those threats in that Facebook post, did she?
I think she did. It's very relevant. I think if you
I didn't ask if you think it's relevant. I asked if she made any admissions about the threat or if she made any mention of the threat on that post.
Indirectly.
how did she indirectly reference the threat?
So you're stalking the wrong person. That's what the picture it says. At the bottom in the message, it states, "You're better off drinking bleach than to come for me and my son." She had just filed a stalking warrant against me the day before. So
So that doesn't have anything to do with what happened on that date. So if you want to pursue charges for that threat, if you believe that was a threat directed towards you, you would have to file another application, and you would have to list that threat and that date, because the attorney would not be on notice, nor would she be
okay,
on.
I understand. That information was found later after the police report was made.
Okay.
So
So
but she made the threat on the 17 bullets to my head. So she definitely said that.
17.
So anything else that you need to present about the actual threat that was made about putting 17 in your head, or she was the wrong one to mess with? Okay.
She
All right,
just,
so
that's it. She just put bullets in my head. That's it going
Okay.
forward. Yeah.
Okay. So counsel, I'm listening. I'm just going to be, give me 1 second, actually, just 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Wow. It's a little crazy so far. I don't think the lady understands the rules. So that's because she's not an attorney. And these are normal things brought forth by the police or the prosecutor's office, who are attorneys. And because there are very strict standards that you need to hit, this is to get an arrest warrant for an offense. It's not an overall order of protection. And that's a difference here. When we might listen to a protection order hearing where it's a little bit more broad in terms of the evidence that they allow in.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So I do see that the Mrs. Coote and
Judge,
Mr.
I'm speaking. I was trying to talk while they were on, but I'll obviously have to mute it or pause it when they're on. I don't know. Regardless, am I better now? But anyways, basically what has to happen is if it's a TPO hearing, it's much broader spectrum of what they can talk about. When it is just this arrest warrant, it is specifically about what they're alleging in this case. So what that means is that an arrest warrant is not an overall like about a person's behavior towards another person, which is what a temporary protective order might be more for. So, again, this probably seems like the wrong venue for this type of allegation, but she's not a lawyer, so how would she know that? Right? Right. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you guys for helping me with the audio. I'm going to go grab a drink of ginger ale, and I'll be right back. I'm still listening.
Coote have returned. So give me 1 second to pause to go back to that matter. And Mrs. Coote, I don't see Mr. Coote and his attorney yet. I could just be blind. Give me 1 second to look and see. I don't see them for some reason.
They may still be in the room talking.
Okay. Give me 1 second because I can't technically talk to you without all parties. I can't talk about the case without all parties being
No
present.
problem.
Just 1 moment. Okay, so counsel, I'm going to go ahead and let you continue start your cross-examination, understanding I might pause briefly when the other attorney comes back in.
That's fine. Thank you, Your Honor.
And you can begin.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm just gathering myself.
Oh, sure.
Okay. When you were testifying and the judge was asking you questions. The telephone call that was placed in which you heard the alleged threat, that wasn't made to you, correct? Isn't that what your testimony was? Yeah,
You're talking to me, correct?
I'm talking to you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
problem.
The phone call was not made directly to me, no.
Okay, and so you were basically listening in as a third party on a two-party conversation, true?
Correct.
Okay. So any alleged threat was not directed at you?
I disagree. The
But
conversation,
But
the
you weren't part of
conversation,
the conversation.
I was the conversation.
You were the conversation, but she didn't know you were on the telephone, correct?
I don't think she knew where he was located. I don't think she was aware that he was here.
Okay. So basically, she didn't know that you were there, so she didn't threaten you, right?
She did. The
Did she threaten you directly?
The topic of the conversation was to kneel.
Okay. But if she didn't know that you were on the conversation, how would have she threatened you directly?
The topic of the conversation was
No,
to kneel.
Judge,
I don't know how to
it's
answer that.
non-responsive.
You're almost asking for legal conclusions, maybe a little bit, but you can ask some questions, but again, I think you probably just need to ask what happened, not necessarily how she classifies it.
Well, all I was just trying to establish that she wasn't known to.
I understand. But
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think if you're using the term threat, that would technically that's something I'm going to determine if whether or not it was a threat or not.
Right.
But you can ask her about what was said or how she felt about it or why she feared it. You can ask those types of questions, but not necessarily if she believes it constituted a threat, which would be a legal conclusion.
Right. I just, yes, ma'am. I'll be glad to move on. All right. When you heard the alleged threat, well, first of all, let me back up. At this point in time, you had never met Ms. Condry Smallwood, correct?
That is correct.
And you had only seen her in pictures, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had she ever come to your house?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. When did you immediately file a police report at this time?
I did. After the second conversation that day, I did.
After the second one. So when did that second conversation occur?
The same day.
Okay. And then you went to file a police report?
Yes, once I got my grandchildren situated in either house, because I didn't want the police at my house with them here, I called the police. I sure did.
And the police came out to your house?
Yes.
Okay. And they told you that you could go ahead and take a warrant, correct?
No, they did not. They took the report. I received a letter from the DeKalb County Police stating that I had probable cause to issue an arrest warrant.
Okay. All right. So they said you had probable cause. Okay. And then you, at that point in time, did you go seek to get an arrest warrant at that point in time?
No, I did not. I called Mr. Dean and I said, can you reach out to her to see if we can get some boundaries, some resolve, something, because this is getting out of hand and I'm not trying to go there. I understand the emotion. I'm a mom too. And I understand. However, we need to try to work something out as adults because this is crazy. She responded to him and said, no, take it to court. I want to go to court. So I waited. I waited.
All right.
And provided another opportunity, gave it some time to kind of die down, the emotion to kind of die down. And I asked him to reach out to her once again. I said, hey, reach out to Taisha and see if we could all meet out. I'm gonna pay for us to go to Top Golf. We in a public place, in an adult public place.
Is Top Golf an adult public place? We don't have that here, but I'm assuming that's like a driving range, maybe virtual. I don't know, but would that wouldn't would would that be considered an adult venue? Also, I mean, I'm just gonna say, right? Like, if you are concerned about adults acting like adults, and so much so that you go ahead to the do a conversation in a public place, perhaps maybe not a public place where you are given weapons, like a golf club. Do you know what I mean? Seems a little bit sus. Also, aren't you up on top of something high sometimes? Could you imagine? Like, you could get shoved off of it. I can think of a lot safer place. I think mini golf. I think mini golf would be much better. You don't want this happening in a you want if you're taking somebody in public to ensure their best behavior, don't take them to a venue where there aren't children. You take them to somewhere where they're going to feel the top level of shame for their behavior in public. It does remind me of a little story. It's so funny. You know, when I was, oh, I just spilled something on my feet. When I was first pregnant, I was really worried about telling my mom and dad, my dad mostly. I think it's because I didn't care what my mom thought, but I sure do care and love about my dad. And so I was worried to tell him, and I did it at the mall in the food court because I just didn't want to be out of like the house, without having to like have a place. I just wanted that sort of like public backup there. Chris, thank you so much from Minnesota with love. Aw, love from Canada to Minnesota. Minnesota's on my list. Actually, every US state is on my list. I'll say that to come and visit. But thanks so much, Chris. Seriously, I say it all the time, but your comments, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Chris is the type of guy, I'm going to say, that keeps receipts. Hey, Chris, you got your receipts. You can go and you prove it. He's got proof. He's watched all my videos because he's commenting on them as he does it. And I love it. It's interesting. You know what the weird thing is that when I was 19 when I told my dad I was pregnant. My sister at that time was maybe under 2, right? So like my dad had just had a baby basically. And so in fact he was totally great with it and fine. And now my daughter is much closer in age to my half sisters than I am to my stepmom, or like it's funny. We ended up having kids close together. But I understand the thought. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to tell him I'm pregnant in public because I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good at getting a crowd to go with me, so I could sway a crowd if I needed to. I think that's what I was thinking. I don't know. Oh man. Anyways, it did all work out in the end. My daughter, 15 now. Great kid, way better than I was. Way better kid. Thank you, Chris. I so appreciate that. So much. So much. One of my favorite YouTubers is from Minnesota.
And let's sit down and talk because I don't want to go there. She said, no, if I come, I'm coming with the police. I said, okay, I want to go to court.
What did you want out of the conversation that would have
I wanted to first to understand the reason why she doesn't want, what her reason is for me not meeting him, and I'm in a relationship.
You said it, ma'am. You're in a relationship with her ex, and she's obviously not over it yet. The only reason that somebody would be like that made me sad. My ex-husband, it's so funny. His wife is, or fiance is pregnant right now, and I remember him saying, can't remember what he said to me. At one point, he said something, and I to him, I said, "Dude, I like her better than I like you. Are you joking? Would be much happier to just hang out with her." And he was not very happy with that, to be honest. But I was like, well, I don't know. Put a ring on it and marry her because I swear to God, she's gonna figure it out soon and leave you too.
With Kevin. I
And
wanted
meeting
us to
him
understand
is who?
the son, his name is Latrell.
Okay. And that's Latrell, who she has physical and legal custody over, correct?
That is the son that her and Kevin Dean has raised for the last 13 years in their marriage. Yes.
Okay.
And
So
she has legal custody.
Okay. All right. Go
Mhm.
ahead. All right.
And so my reasoning for that was, we are adults, we are mothers, we are parents. And at the end of the day, this is centered around Latrell, and every child should be loved and centered and put at the forefront of everything. And we have to get past our emotions to do that. So I'm stepping over to say, let's get some understanding. Let's set some boundaries, because I want to respect your space in respect of my relationship. But using the son to force Kevin's hand to make him do what you want him to do when he's not complying is not okay. So,
but this is not venue for that, ma'am. This is not family court. So this is not where you bring that up. And I guess, again, these are civilian warrant applications. She's talking, the judge was very specific at the beginning. What happened on this date in regards to this threat? And now we're off on tangent after tangent after tangent.
let's come to something. Let's get some space and some arrangements going so that everybody can love on him and share with him, and everybody get along, or agree to not get along in peace.
Okay.
That
And
was
so-
my intention. That has always been my intention.
So what and correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm understanding, that if she would have met you at Top Golf and y'all would have had this conversation, and she would have agreed to let you meet her son, then you wouldn't have brought the warrant today. Isn't that true?
No, this is not about meeting the son. She's made it about meeting the son. This is about.
But you just said it was about meeting the son. Oh, well, let's just say this guy has a type. His type is controlling women. Shit.
Controlling Kevin, and her and Kevin gonna have to figure that out.
Okay.
If you do not comply with Taisha and her demands, then she's going to use whatever she can against you. She has used Kevin this entire time. So that's why Kevin can't see his son that he's raised for the last 13 years anymore, because of me. And I'm not the problem.
Okay. But it is true that if y'all could have worked it out that afternoon or the evening, we wouldn't be here today, right?
I truly believe so. We would not, because we would have been adults about it. Both parties would have been adults, but she was very adamant. Take me to court. I want to go to court.
Okay. And so here we are. We're at court.
We're at court because she pushed the issue. And this is how I felt. I felt even more concerned, because if someone says, I don't want to work that out with you.
We are talking about is not anything related to what
Okay,
happened, the incident date. So I really want to get back to what did or did not happen on July 28, 2023.
Okay.
So counsel, you can ask another question if you like to, or re-ask the same question, but just if we can focus back on that date.
All right. Okay. On that date, okay, how much time transpired between the first conversation and the second conversation?
About an hour.
About an hour. Okay. And at no time did Ms. Condry Smallwood come to your house, correct?
No.
Okay.
Where of?
And there was no history of her coming to your house, correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
Were you aware whether or not that she possessed a firearm?
I do not know that, to be factual.
All right. Let me look at my notes. I might be through, Your Honor.
Okay.
And were you aware at the time that she lives in Cherokee County?
I knew she lived somewhere in Ackworth, yes.
And Ackworth is either Cherokee or Cobb County, right?
I think so, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. Did you, after that particular date, did you have to go to the doctor or any mental health professional concerning the alleged threat?
No.
Okay. All right. And to this time, to this date, at no time has Ms. Condry Smallwood laid hands on you or struck you in any way, correct?
No, but she did approach me on October 21st.
When you say approached, my question was, did she lay hands on you or did she threaten to hit you or anything like that? Or did she hit you?
No, but she aggressively, with hostile, approached me in a public place on October 21st.
Okay. Did she hit you?
No, she did not.
She went and got the police, didn't she?
Yeah, after she walked away from me.
Okay.
But
And
she
at that,
actually stood behind me and called the police. Then she walked away.
so she called the police. All right. Also, isn't it true that on November 30th?
Hold on 1 second. I see my other counsel in the Coot matter is back. So now that I have all parties in that matter, let's see. I think I have all parties. Ms. Coot, I see you. Perfect. Was there a resolution of any sorts?
There was, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and put that resolution on the record for me?
Yes, whenever Your Honor is ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. There are two conditions. The first, Mrs. Coot has filed a TPO against Mr. Coot, and I have the case number. She has, I guess, attempted service. Mr. Coot, he's not running from service, and of course, whenever the sheriff comes by his residence, he will more than willing to accept service in the TPO. We are aware of the TPO. We're going to abide by the conditions of the TPO since we are aware of it. And whenever service comes by, Mr. Coot will obviously accept it. The second condition that we've agreed to is that Mrs. Coot has incurred $712.88 in out-of-pocket medical expenses. Mr. Coot has agreed to compensate her for those.
That was $712.88.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And let me make sure I understand properly. There was a petition for a protective order. However, that protective order has not yet been served.
Correct.
There
Okay.
have been 3 petitions, Your Honor, and all haven't been served.
The
On
one that
October,
is current, does it have, because again, I've done protective orders as well. Does it have a provision checked off on it where it says that he's not to have any contact with the minor children as well on that one?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you're asking that he still abides by that right now?
Currently, because this TPO, we're supposed to go to court on December the 14th at 9 a.m. And I
Okay.
asked that he
At least honor
invoke
it until
service.
December 14th
I
at 9.
Yes, Your Honor. And I asked that he invoke service, go in to the sheriff's department so that they can serve him, because he's avoiding service. He is. And the $700 out of pocket for the injuries that I have sustained is not sufficient in terms of monetary. I gave him what the cost of my medical expenses have been. They were over $15,000. And I will be having future medical I have a radio frequency ablation that's scheduled on Wednesday. That's where they go in and burn the nerves.
So Ms. Coote, I guess my question would be, are you, are your out-of-pocket expenses right now more than 712? Are you saying the out-of-pocket that you have to pay is the 15,000 or the out-of-pocket is the 712?
The out-of-pocket right now is 712, but when we added up what the actual cost of the services, medical services were, they were over $15,000. And so,
but you did not have to pay 15,000. Your insurance had to pay.
My insurance paid it, and I don't know
so
if
your
insurance
would be the one that would come after him for that if they felt as if they should come after him. Because technically, even if this was a civil lawsuit and someone comes with that amount and they don't really actually have expenses in that amount, I don't know that anyone would be able to award you that amount, right? So but you're saying the insurance company would be able to subrogate, and if you did, so if, let's say, I gave you 15,000, I don't have the jurisdiction to do that, even if it was well, I guess that's the top of our jurisdiction is 15,000 in the civil division of magistrate court. But even if someone were to do that, then the insurance company would subrogate, which means they come back and say, well, this is actually money we paid out. So it wouldn't be something that would go into your pocket. So the question would be, because the insurance company is never going to ask you for that 15,000, I'm assuming that what you have to pay is the 700.
That's what I've paid out of pocket as of date.
And he's going to pay you that 700, and then I'm assuming what he's going to do is pay whatever additional out-of-pocket expenses you might have as they come up. But since the only ones we know of for sure right now are the 712, he's paying what we know for certain are due.
Correct. And Your Honor, that's not even including pain and suffering, what I'm having to go through. I mean,
so you can always still pursue pain and suffering, right? But this is where I guess I was trying to go with everything. There are a couple of concerns. Obviously, you want to be made whole, right?
Yes, sure.
Civil lawsuit, civil liability is completely different than criminal liability. The civil lawsuit, your daughter is not potentially putting her father, in harm as far as jail or anything like that, right? A civil lawsuit simply means someone pays money. And that nothing from this precludes you from being able to pursue, civil if he should not pay, what you feel as if you're owed. But right now, what it sounds like is y'all are agreeing to make an agreement as long as he pays the current expenses that you're actually having to physically fork over And then he's agreeing to just allow himself to be served and show up for the hearing on December 14th. Is that what it sounds like y'all are agreeing to do?
And pay future expenses.
Pay future expenses. Well, the
Yes.
only thing with that is,
Really.
and I'm sure he's going to agree to do that, but those are going to have the expenses that you show him and show his attorney, because that could be, who knows how much that is.
Yes.
So
Well,
that would
Judge,
be something.
that's not whether or not he pays that, that's fine. I don't know that we can order that today. I mean, that would be.
Well, I can't. That's what I have it, counsel. I think I was
Oh,
discussing.
sorry.
Thank you.
Pardon.
So I can order a dollar amount, but I can't necessarily in a order. I would have to keep a case open. If I don't have a specific amount, I can't just say that someone's supposed to pay whatever comes due, because that's a speculative, and that doesn't necessarily have teeth. So I can say he has to pay the $712.88, and he needs to pay it by whatever date that you believe he needs to pay it by, and that is the parameter that this is being done on. But I can't just have something that's, I don't know when it's going to occur in the future and what that amount is going to be in the future, right? If that makes any sense.
Yes, you said something about keeping the case open.
So I don't keep cases open. That's all I was saying. So if you were saying
Okay.
that you're supposed to pay and then you don't know, and as soon as you know, you'll let us know, I wouldn't be able to keep it open for that type of time to do something like that. I like to close it out or send it on to the prosecutor. So if I'm going to close it, I'm going to close it with a caveat that if he doesn't do this, then the case can be revived. But I have to give him the specific parameters for what he needs to do in order for me to close it. And then again, it's with the understanding that it was only being closed because he's agreeing to do this. So he's agreeing to not obstruct service, and he's agreeing that he understands and will be appearing, it seems his attorney is saying they're going to appear in the December 14th hearing. And then it also appears so he's going to pay the $712.88.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. As far as I have no idea about the December 12th hearing. What we agreed to was to accept service. So, whatever the document is, I'm not sure what the conditions and the dates. I can't agree.
I'm telling you that it's the court date. Once he accepts, it's December the 14th at 9 a.m. It's on the TPO. And I think I included that as evidence as well.
Okay, Counselor, you were going to acknowledge that you know that the date is December 14th and that he will not obstruct the sheriff being able to serve him?
Judge, I'd have to look at the TPO. I would if I saw it and verified it, but what I can 100% tell the court is that Mr. Coote will accept service as soon as the sheriff comes by and visits him. But I'd have to look at the order before I agree to the terms.
They've been by several
she's asking you
times.
to agree to the terms. I think she's just saying that they've told her the court date is going to be December 14th.
I acknowledge that's what she's saying.
Okay.
Well, you
would
can
it be-
look up, the TPO.
Y'all,
I'm sorry.
don't talk over me. Would you be appearing with him on the 14th, or do you think you'd be hiring someone else for the hearing on the 14th? Would you only appear if there's service perfected by the 14th?
I'd have to discuss that with my client. I'm just learning about all this, I guess.
It sounds like
he will accept service. He was never obstructed. As far as what I'm going to advise him to do, Judge, I don't know. I have to look at the document. I have to see what's going on. If I need more time, I might ask the court for continuance. I just don't want to promise the court.
That has nothing to do with whether or not there's a hearing on the 14th scheduled on the paperwork and either appearing or not appearing, I guess, on that date. That's what I'm a little confused about.
We will accept service.
Okay.
I guess I'm not quite sure what other guarantees we can give. Is that?
Okay, so Ms. Cooch, it sounds like what he is indicating is that they will accept service whenever the sheriff comes by to serve them. Was that going to be sufficient for you then? Again, if the service. Okay.
No, Your Honor, because the sheriff has been by his house several times to serve him, and he's not answering the door. So I asked the attorney for him to go down. The judge told me that these TPOs are public record. He can look it up. He knows that he has a TPO, and he already knew he had a TPO when I had the second. TPO, and because I asked the police officer to serve him.
So are you asking him? So y'all are getting into a whole bunch of facts, and remember, I said I don't have the time to go into all the facts. Are you asking that he accept service? Or are you asking that he go and sign for service at the court?
I'm asking that he go and sign for service, or he can appear at court on the 14th and accept service then. The judge will ask him if you want to accept service when he appears at court. But
okay. So counsel, I think what she's asking is,
can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? If you can't hear me now, you'll tell me in a minute. I'll feel stupid. Oh, you can hear me now. Well, I'm just going to tell you that everything's the exact fucking same, including the bar of my voice going across the bottom telling me that I'm speaking. So I swear to God before I wasn't muted. But anyways, apparently I was. I said, hi, Mike. Welcome back. Hi, Mikey. Welcome. What else did I fucking say? I can't remember.
that he accepts some type of service. Ms. Coote, you can let the sheriff know that he does live at that current address. It sounds like he's.
They know.
Ms. Coote, just listen.
I'm sorry.
You can let the sheriff know that he lives at that address and that he's agreed if they should come by, he will accept, and the sheriff might have the ability to go by and serve it. But counsel, it sounds like she's asking that if he cannot be served, that he appear and accept service at whatever time is scheduled on the TPO for the court hearing, even if the sheriff is not able to serve them. So it doesn't sound like she's asking for the sheriff to be able to serve them. Sounds like she's asking that he either be available for the sheriff to serve him, and even if not, he accepts service and acknowledge service by the hearing date at latest.
Okay.
Do you need to talk with him again about that before you make a decision?
I don't want to presume, sorry.
Okay, so Mr. Coote, let's do this. Are you able to call him? Or we can put you back? Okay, so just give him a call, see what he says, and then you can come back on screen once you know that. And Mrs. Coote, let me ask one last question. Was there any type of provision as far as his ability to communicate with Christina?
No, we didn't talk about that. We just talked about him accepting service and going through the TPO because she is a part of the TPO. She's included in the TPO. And so I wanted that decision to be made by the judge. And she also talked to the judge like she did with you. And, you know, they can make a decision based on that. I'm not trying to keep Christina away from her father. I've indicated that she loves her father and she wants to see him. And I will also tell the judge that as well, so that they can make an informed decision.
Okay. And is she, are you bringing her with you to that hearing, or she's not going to be there at that hearing?
Well, if the judge wants to speak with her, then I'll make her available.
Okay. You can let the judge know that Judge Neal handled the warrant application hearing and spoke intensively and extensively with her, and they can always give her a call to get information, I guess, about the case or about the child and what was stated. So you can do that. Both sides can do that, or whatnot. We can just go from there. But that being stated, counsel, just give us, come back on screen once you've had a chance to talk to your client to see if he actually consents to that.
Will do, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Morrison, let's see, we were in the middle of cross, I believe, so we can continue.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Ms. Rainey, there was a protective order that lasts for a year.
Serious answer, Grim. It is a Blue Yeti mic. It's not a cheap mic. I promise. I think the cord is the main problem. I think I move things too much. Like I do. Like they're made to be moved like, however many times in their life. I move them too many times. Hi H&W. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I tried to change the cord, Mike. I did. I went and bought another cord. It wouldn't work at all. So now I probably have to get one of their cords. But again, I have ADHD. I have fucking honestly, yeah, it's hard to make it work. But it's a decent mic. That shouldn't be the issue, right? Anyways, we'll see how we do. I hate it so much though because it lies to me. Like when y'all said I was muted, there's been nothing changes, and like the streaming software is showing my voice going up with that. The microphone's showing that it's unmuted. Like everything worked. No, I use neither. It just sits. If I move it, it'll probably fuck up again. But it's just like this. It's on. Now it's gonna fuck up. Anyways. I know. I told you it would cut out if I moved. I know. I know. I'm telling you, it's a problem with the cord when I move it. So I try really hard not to do that until I can do that. Honestly, you guys, I'll be totally frank with you. I am not there to fucking get a new cord right now, right before Christmas and my daughter's birthday this week. It's just not on my list of things that I can get right now when I can make it work as best as possible. And when I can't make that work, I have 2 other mics that are shitty. But yes, ideally, I want to get a better cord for it. One day I'll have a studio that's set up and I can sit down and be in a spot, but no, not today.
Here that was granted against you and in favor of my client on November 30th. Isn't that true?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes.
Yes. So it was granted on November 30th. And what do you know what it told you to stop doing?
Communicating with her.
Did it cover anyone else?
She amended the return to include her child, yes.
So it stops you from contacting or coming within 100 yards of her or her child for the next year, correct?
That is correct.
When and testimony was taken on this, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Judge, I don't think I have anything else right now, but I do have a motion.
Okay. So I typically am not going to entertain motions in these types of hearing. Do you have any other evidence or anything that you would like to present? She has not presented her last witness. I think she had one more witness anyway. So you can always present evidence and then I'll hear argument, but I don't do motions in these types of hearings since they're so short. Ms. Rainey, let me ask this of you. Would you like to call your witness, Mr. Kevin Dean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It seems, has he been in here the whole time? Because I thought he was supposed to have been in the breakout room. Why was he not in the breakout room? Mr. Dean, are you still there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Dean, have you been in the court room for the entire hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I thought I asked that you were not listening, and also I thought I asked that you be placed in a breakout room.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was in a breakout room for a period of time, but then I was brought back in once testimony started.
Okay, so I'm not going to hear from you since you were not sequestered as I had asked. I don't know why you were still in here. So I'm not going to hear your testimony. Mr. Morrison, do you have anyone that you like to testify, or would you just like to make argument?
No, just argument, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can give your argument at this point in time.
Okay. No, simply that the terms of the hearing today shows that the potential misdemeanor to be accused would be OCGA 16-5-20, Part A. And I know Your Honor knows what that is, but just for the benefit of everyone here and for Ms. Rainey, it says A, and the title is, well, but the essential part is a person commits the offense of simple assault when he or she either, one, attempts to commit a violent injury to the person of another, semicolon, or two, commits an act which places another.
Because I fucking said so, Melanie. That's why.
In reasonable apprehension of immediately receiving a violent injury. The testimony that we have heard today from Ms. Rainey, and there is no dispute that this is a very contentious situation. And when I was listening to her talking about how children should be loved, I thoroughly agree with that. And I don't think there's a shortage of love and devotion from anybody who's involved in this case. And when those really, really hot emotions come out, sometimes, things are said, but not all things that are said amount to something that would make probable cause for a violation of this misdemeanor. There is nothing that said, well, first of all, when this was heard, she wasn't even a party to the conversation. She was basically a third party or eavesdropping in on what was going on. And it wasn't directed at Ms. Rainey. And she also testified that she didn't immediately go and call the police, but she waited for a different conversation later in the day. And so I think that kind of puts it as, was there reasonable apprehension? No, I don't think that there was reasonable apprehension that she was going to be immediately receiving a violent injury. This was all over the telephone. She had never seen my client before. My client's not present. There was also testimony that although there was a reference to, 17, there's no testimony that Ms. Rainey had any idea whether my client was so armed or even possessed or owned a handgun or any other type of weapon. In addition, I think more telling than anything is that she did testify that we would not be here had the subsequent conversation she proposed, the one that was supposed to occur at Topgolf, if it would have occurred and ended in the result that she wanted, then we wouldn't be here today. So I see today's exercise, especially in light of the fact that there was a permanent protective order that was entered within the last 5 days or so. This is about a situation in which Ms. Rainey was retaliating or seeking to gain advantage by filing for these charges. Now, I'm not saying that she doesn't have her heart in the right place or wanting to, have a better relationship. And I know that she would want to have a better relationship with my client and everybody to be good with that. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be what's going to go on going forward. So in this instance, I don't think there's probable cause. I don't think that burden has been met. I don't think it's more likely than not, or anything on the spectrum of where possibility mounts to where it would make probable cause. I think that this is one of the things that the evidence we have heard today by direct testimony does not carry the day under the elements of this particular misdemeanor. Thus, we would like to ask Your Honor to dismiss this warrant application. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rainey, I don't want to hear about any of the other incidents that happened, but you can give me a brief reason why you think I should issue a warrant as far as relates to what happened on the one day in question. So you can go ahead and tell me your brief reasons now.
My reasons is, Your Honor, Ms. Condrey made those threats on those days, and it is my belief that she meant them. I understand that there are emotions, I understand feelings, but we do not have the right to put people in fear of living every day. When you make comments of bullets and taking somebody's life, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a grandmother raising 3 of my grandkids. They need me. And when I have to live in fear of going out to take my trash out because she now has my address where I live, I don't know what she's able to do. And in the times that we live in now, you can't take that for granted. I'm sorry, but I feel like that we need to move forward. You just can't go around threatening people's lives and disrupting the quality of their life. And that's what she's done. The conversations were about me. They were heard, they were said. I was a party to the situation. So I asked the court to move forward and provide me the protections that I need. for me and my family. I've now had to go, well, Mr. Dean had to go, went and purchased a handgun for me. And I've never owned a weapon. I don't like weapons. That stuff makes me nervous just to have some security for me, because I don't know what she will do. I don't know her to that extent to know that she will or she will not, because she's not willing, because we don't comply with how she wants things done. So I'm sorry, it bothers me. It's a level of anxiety that I don't choose to deal with. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So what I will do, I don't believe that it rises to the level of a simple assault based on what occurred on that one date. That's the only date that I'm interested in looking at, basis that being the one date that's on the notice. So I will not find probable cause. If you have a disagreement with that, you can always talk with the solicitor's office or with the arresting officer and see if they, or not arresting, the investigating officer, and see if they would issue a warrant. But I do not feel that this particular day, the one day in question, it arises to that level. So both parties are excused. Thank you all for appearing, and have a good rest of the day. And counsel, just make sure your client knows that Mrs. Rainey does not want to be contacted, it appears. I know there's a protective order in place against Mrs. Rainey, but also just that she knows not to antagonize her via social media or any other way.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good day.
We appreciate the court's time.
So denied, as I thought it would be, but we're going to continue watching for a little bit. I want to see what the end arrangement that gets put on the record is for the Coots, because we've been watching it for 2 days now, it seems. They are just stressing me out. Anyways, Lisa Felicious, welcome. Glad to see you. Sorry to hear you're stressed. I totally understand that moving is difficult. I just did it. It's hard. Also a reminder, yeah, you can block people really easily on YouTube by accident, and it's super easy to not realize it. So that's usually the first thing that happened, is not that they didn't like you, is that they did it by accident.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. And counsel, I see that you're back on the other matter. Were y'all able to come to a decision?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe we heard December 14th. If that's the court date in the order, we will be appearing either by entry or in person, but we will appear for that date. And if service comes by before then, we will gladly accept it. But in any event, we will be there that day.
Okay. And I believe you just call the clerk's office. They should be able to give you that information about the date and the time. And so, perfect.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. And so thank y'all for reaching that agreement. I will put that in the order that I'll issue. And just again, if all parties can just make sure we keep Christina at the heart of everything, and safety and Christina, those be the two main concerns that we be looking after. Again, everyone have a wonderful night. Tell Christina I said good night. Thank y'all for appearing and working that out.
Judge, we appreciate all your efforts.
And also,
one last
Yes.
question, Judge. The restitution 7/12/88. Logistically, how did Ms. Coot, how did she want us to?
Are you going to be able to get that by the December 14th day? Would you maybe, Ms. Coot, would you prefer a money order or Zelle, or?
I don't know if it's virtual. So maybe
It's
you could
virtual.
give me her address, or take my
How
email.
would you like to receive that, Ms.
Yeah,
Coot?
if she could take my email address and just send me however she wants me to send her the payment, we'll do that.
okay,
It's on the
it
paper.
could be sent via Zelle or Cash App.
Okay.
And I'll
Okay.
provide you with the information. And
Do you have an
as far
address
as
that I can send it to?
I'm
So
sorry.
let me do this because y'all are on the
Oh.
internet. So what you can do, if you want to put it in the chat feature, Ms. Coote, for him, you can send him a direct chat with whatever telephone number or email address you want the Zelle payment to go to.
Okay.
And then we can do that. So if you want to just do that, and then as soon as you receive it, counsel, if you can just let us know that you've received it, and then everybody will be free to go.
I'm sorry, Judge. We got to do it the old fashioned way for record keeping purposes. If I'll send her a trust check to her address certified, if that's okay. We don't really do Zelle.
Ms. Coote, are you okay with that?
That's fine. I would just need to know when it's coming. I have a gate at my home, and so I would.
We could have 30 days.
Humble brag. I'm not worried about when I get the money. I have a gate at my home where I don't allow people to walk in unless I know they're coming. The mail person. Okay, what a weird situation that whole thing was. Uh, Again, they're not even done, by the way. Remember, they're having their TPO hearing on the 14th. So they're still mad at each other. This poor child, Christina, still in the middle. Feel bad for her. But apparently Miss Coote got her 700 and some odd dollars. Pretty interesting. The next case that's coming up is one that we already watched. We watched it last night. At the end of this, there's a little bit of a beginning of a case, and then you'll see what happens. That's what we're gonna watch after this. Yeah, that's what we're doing for tonight. Okay.
To receive it, but I mean, there's no, we don't intend to delay it unnecessarily, but 30 days is reasonable.
Ms. Coote, are you okay with that, receiving it via certified mail within 30 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'll just wait on your mailing address in the chat, Ms. Coote. Judge, thank you again.
Okay.
Okay, and as soon as y'all receive that, just let me know, and we'll release you. So let me go ahead and go to position number 4 on the calendar. Let's see, Mrs. Smith, are you Ms. Smith, and Mr. Gates? Was Mr. Gates present?
Yes, ma'am, I'm present.
And y'all indicated that you did need a hearing.
So if you're interested, you're like, wait, what was that hearing? We watched that last night. Actually, first thing up on the docket. So you want to go watch that one, go right ahead. It's at the very beginning of yesterday's live. It was about a road rage incident I don't know what you would call it. Somebody did an illegal U-turn. There was some allegations of a pew-pew being brought out at that. It was crazy. Anyways, we're skipping past that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is not a full case. I wish it was. I was listening when this was happening. The couple nights ago, working and getting these things ready. And the beginning of it sounds very juicy, but eventually they go off the record, just being upfront with you. But let's listen to the very beginning of it until they do. And then that will be us for the evening. Hi, KT. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, yeah, this is when the clerk was eating again. That's right. And I remember this because I was watching it live, so I couldn't fast forward then. But she was like eating these chips so.
Yes. And then
You almost missed him.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next case that I have on the calendar. That's going to be Ms. Takia Mills versus Sabrina Bryant.
Lisa, is the iMac lamp that is in the back? It is it's a color changing light and speaker built into an iMac. It is one of my favorite possessions given to me by my best friend Danielle. Thank you, Danielle.
So Mrs. Mills, what I'll have you do first is identify, give me 1 second. For some reason, my screen is still having some issues.
okay.
There we go. Okay. What is going to be the name of your witnesses, Mrs. Mills?
Genesis McCullough and Maya McCullough. Genesis, I live with her, so she's right here. She's with me. And then my other witness is online right here, Maya.
Have you already sent the court all of the documents that you would like for us to be able to consider during your hearing?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bryant, do you have any witnesses besides yourself?
Yes, Jasmine Kearney and Yusha Ali.
What is your other person's name?
Yusra Ali.
Mrs. Ali, is she present with you, or is she going to?
He actually stays with me.
So I'm going to go ahead and have you bring your witness in. All of you bring your witnesses that are physically with them.
He's with my son right now, so I would have to step out and get my son so he can actually step in.
Okay. Oh, so we'll come back to him shortly. So Ms. Mills, raise your right hand. And Ms. Mills, you can raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Takia Mills.
Okay, thank you. You can have your witness come in the screen so I can have him state his name for the record, or her. Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
What is your name?
Genesis McCullough.
Maya McCullough.
Last name? Ms. Genesis, what was your last name again?
McCullough.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay, and the next witness, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
State your name for the record.
Maya McCullough.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. And Mrs. Kearney, if you can raise your right hand for me and unmute yourself as well. Do you swear and affirm the testimony that you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? And I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do.
Okay, if you could state your name for the record.
Jasmine Kearney.
Thank you. And Ms. Kearney, what we're going to do is place you and Ms. McCullough in a waiting room. It's going to be a private room where you're not going to be able to hear or see what's going on. You're not allowed to listen via YouTube or any other media to what's going on until we call you to appear. So please make sure that you stay wherever you're supposed to be while this is going on. Okay, Mrs. Mills, you indicated you had somebody with you physically. He's going to have to go into another room where he's not able to see or hear what's going on until it's time for him to testify. Let me know once he's left.
Oh, okay. She's doing it. She's leaving now.
Okay, let me know once they've left.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Out of earshot.
Take her. Okay, take her.
Ms. Bryant is your other witness in the room.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, you can have them raise their right hand.
Like I said, we will have to switch out because he's with my son.
Oh, okay, I thought you said he was in the room. He is not in the room.
Yeah, he's in the room right now.
You said yes, he is in the room
No,
right
he's
now?
in another room right now.
Okay. Raise your right hand, Ms. Bryant. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
State your name for the record.
Sabrina Bryant.
Okay. All of you should have all of your witnesses in separate rooms and no longer listening right now. I'll start with Mrs. Mills. You have the burden of proof, so you will let the court know what we are present for here today. The only thing that I want to hear about is going to be stalking and harassing phone calls that occurred on May 11th of 2022 around 12 p.m. And it's alleged that Mrs. Bryant did send your personal information on the internet to another person without your consent for the purpose of harassing and intimidating you. And then also that she committed harassing communications by texting, calling, or using social media repeatedly to contact you with the purpose of harassing you or your family. So that is what I need to hear about, any stalking or harassing phone calls and repeated communication on May 11th of 2022. So you can go ahead and begin, Mrs. Bryant. I'm sorry, Mrs. Mills.
Okay. When I filed for this criminal warrant, it was due to fraud for my social security, and my address was put online, not just for one person, it was for thousands of people to see. It was on Instagram, it was on Twitter, it was on every social media platform you can think of. My address with the unit number was posted with Miss Sabrina telling people to break my door down, to come in to steal my items, steal my things. More so, yeah, just come in, steal my things, and just harass me on a daily basis with my social and ID being up for almost 2 months now at that time. And then just 2-3 weeks ago, she posted again that she had an ID and social and scammers to contact her, as she did in 2021 as well. I made a police report for that as well, for fraud.
Okay. And what proof do you have that she posted these things online?
I sent in from her social media. She posted my full address, my ID and social put together. She posted that as well. And that was up for 2 months on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram.
Okay.
I sent in photos of my address and social and ID being posted numerous times.
Do you have that information?
The screenshots?
I'm speaking to you right now.
I'm sorry.
Madam Clerk, do you have that information?
I have quite a few, Judge.
Okay, so what we can do is you can go ahead and put that up. Mrs. Bryant, she's going to show you everything that she has. You'll need to look at everything that's being posted. Let us know if there is any reason why you should not be able to see it. Madam Clerk, I think it may be some insensitive information. So for that part, let's stop the live streaming. You can keep the.
And that's how that ended. I wish we had more, but they never came back. I have one story to tell before we end it for the evening. In fact, my identity was stolen. I had my car broken into a long time ago and my wallet was stolen. I don't know why my wallet was in my car. I do, but I was lazy, I guess. And my wallet was stolen. I went to the police, I went to the bank, I went to everywhere and reported everything stolen. I got it all replaced. And then, like 6 months later, Mayor paying Iowa's late fee. Thank you. You want to see the whole light? Okay. Oh, actually, maybe I can do it this way. Give me a sec. Um, there. Yeah. Okay. And I'll just make it smaller. So I was, that's pretty much the whole light. Thank you again, Mayor, so much. I appreciate that. But, so about it was like maybe a year later when and it was very poor timing. I had just gotten separated for the first time, was living on my own for the first time in a long time, had moved into a new place, and basically had, was trying to make a go of it on my own. I had a new job, all these different things. I went to the bank account or I went to the store and to buy something, and my bank card didn't work. And, that's yay, thank you, Mayor. That does happen sometimes here. And so I wasn't too worried, but I happened to have cash. This was years ago. So I had cash on me. I paid in cash. We left. The next day, I went to get my morning coffee on my way to my work, and my card didn't work again. And I thought that was weird. Loud Elvis, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Um, so I got to work and immediately I called up the bank to ask about what had happened. And it turns out that they said, "Oh, well, you closed your bank accounts yesterday." And I said, "No, I didn't. What are you talking about?" And they said, "And then you opened new ones." And I said, "No, I didn't." And let's keep in mind, I worked at a bank for like 4 years when I was in high school and a young adult. So I already understand the scams and I understand the due diligence that the bank has to perform in order to keep you safe. And so I was livid because it was already just obvious that somebody like literally impersonated me and came into the bank and then socially manipulated some inept idiot to close the bank accounts, open new bank accounts, transfer all the money into the new ones, give them new debit cards, give them checks. They opened like credit card accounts. They took all my money, everything I had. They took every little bit. And they said, oh, well, you just have to report it to the RCMP. So I had to drive up to the RCMP because it happened up island in Duncan. So I live in Victoria. It happened up island, like an hour drive away. So I had to drive there to report it. And when I did, um, I said, well, it's obviously on camera. These people walked in and used my identification, which I had reported to the bank stolen. And so we've got them, on video. And they're like, sorry, we can't. Thanks, Loud. Appreciate you. Have a really good night. Um, Anyways, they said, well, and this is what they literally said to me. I was so mad. They're like, listen, this isn't CSI. Crimes don't get solved in an hour. And I was like, no, I know that. I'm just, it's so simple to me because if you just give me their picture, I'll fucking shame them out on Facebook at the time, make a Facebook group about them, whatever. And so they were like, well, it's under investigation, this, that, the other. So when I went to the bank, they wouldn't give me my money back right away. They were like, it's a fraud investigation. I was like, okay, great. And I ended up having to go and threaten to go to the media. I literally went and threw a hissy fit in the lobby. And they were like, I'm sorry, we have to wait for this and that. I said, listen, my fucking $5,000 is nothing in comparison to your 3.4 billion in profits that you made last quarter. Okay? So you can go ahead and give me my fucking money back, or I'm going to go and tell them how I'm a single mom and you won't give me my money and you let somebody come in here and impersonate me and steal all my fucking money. And that finally got me the money back. And he's like, do you want a bank draft? I was like, no, I want fucking cash. And so he gave me cash. And after that, I took it home and I was so scared to open another bank account and use it because I had reported it stolen. They literally had to click past an alert that said, don't use this ID, the ID that they used. And it was just a horrible, horrible, horrible experience. Horrible experience. It does make sense as to why you should have two different banks and bank accounts. But here's the other thing. So I went to another bank after that and I said to them, I was like, hey, how can you protect me? Because this what just happened in another bank. Somebody literally walked in and did this. So what are you going to do even if somebody has all the ID? And so we have a literal like password on the account that regardless if somebody comes in with full ID, if they don't know the password, you can't touch it. And people, all the tellers that I ever talk to sometimes, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry I have to ask you this. I'm like, don't be sorry. I fucking am thankful that you're asking this every time. Like, do your job. Scammers, people that fucking steal, that lie, I fucking can't stand it. Kills me. I hate it. Anyways, regardless, my friends, I really hope that you've had a wonderful evening. I know it seems short for us, only 2 hours, but in fact, I have a lot to do. And we will be back tomorrow. In Canada, we have no social security card. We have SIN number, they call it, social insurance number. Your SIN. Your SIN, your SIN, your SIN. Yeah, I hate the puppy scammers the most, Melanie. Here's some of that's like a family business. Anyways, I hope you guys remember that I love you. I'm proud of you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.